Welcome to the meeting room at Global TV Talk Show, a broadcast service of globalbusinessnews.net.
This episode from the meeting room of Global TV Talk Show is brought to you by
The Bridge School, the accredited international online private school of choice, at bridgek12.org.
Porch Light Rental and Destination Services. Reduce your renter lump sum or managed relocation costs. Visit them at porchlightrental.com.
Cube Monk, featuring the world's first smart cube. Track your goods with our advanced GPS system. Welcome to the future of moving and relocation at cubemonk.com.
Primestone Partners, featuring corporate, government, and developer housing solutions, as well as senior-level advisory services. Find them at primestonepartners.com.
And by heirs.com. With our full range of services, we can help design and manage your international relocation. Find us at heirs.com.
Insured Nomads provides protection and peace of mind with health insurance, travel insurance, group, or tailored insurance for the globally mobile. Visit us at insurednomads.com.
And by International Auto Source. We are the vehicle experts for expats, featuring all major brands of automobiles with flexible solutions and financing. On the web at intlauto.com.
Become a global player in your field.
Cross Culture to Go provides virtual support for your global business and career success.
We can help you thrive in 140 plus countries and markets.
On the web at crossculturetogo.com.
Hi, this is Ed Cohen in San Diego, California, and you're on Global TV Talk Show. This is a business unit of globalbusinessnews.net. And go and visit it. You're going to find some really interesting things, a few ads, of course, but tips on diet and how to build up your own immunity. Like, for instance, I love to have green beans soaked in butter, so that goes right into your immunity system, right? So globalbusinessnews.net was set up by a friend of mine who at the time was a developer at Intel Corporation, the technology side of things, because I know nothing about tech, even today. So I do know how to do this kind of thing. And since then, we've had about 1.2 million reader page views, according to Google Analytics, from over 100 countries. And more recently, between January 1 and just recently April 5 this year, Google Analytics says we've had 20,207 reader page views, 70% US and Canada, Latin America, 20% Europe, 9% Asia Pacific, 1% Middle East and Africa. So seems like a lot, doesn't it? Our very special guest today is Robert Garcia, who's based in Miami, as you could see in the background. And we're joined with expert commentary by HELEN LOBO from Bahrain. So thank you so much, guys, for being on Global TV. Welcome, Helen. Thank you for introducing me to Robert.
Always a pleasure to join you, Ed.
Yeah.
And of course, with Robert.
Yes. So Robert Garcia is Director of Strategic Development of International Coaching Federation. Is that correct?
Correct. It's great to be here and good to be with my friend Helen. We've known each other for many years and we're always recommending good people to each other. And certainly Ed, you're a wonderful friend. A friend of Helen is a friend of mine.
Well, I'm really happy about that. So Helen, through Sandra Corona and some others, invited me to get involved in her global HR event. And I was up at 3 o'clock in the morning, my time, and tried to sound intelligent. And so all of this is here we are today, So
You did well, Ed. You did well.
Yeah, well, you're so sweet. Thank you. Someday we're going to meet in person. I'll tell you that. I don't know
Definitely.
Hopefully sometime soon, right? Oh,
yes,
goodness.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because I'm getting older, so it better be soon. So I remember, just so you know, Robert, for 20 years or so, I've been producing live meetings until about a year ago when it all evaporated. But many of them over the years were in Miami.
Oh, really? Great. Wonderful.
Yeah. In fact, we were in the Bankers Club right in
Nice.
downtown.
Very nice. Overlooking
Uh,
downtown Miami.
yeah,
Absolutely.
right. And then we did some meetings with AIG, and then we did some meetings with Wells Fargo, and then we did some meetings with I forget who, but KPMG was a
Oh,
big
nice.
sponsor.
Very
Yeah,
nice.
and right downtown there, right at
Right.
the intersection by the Intercontinental
Yes.
uh,
Beautiful, beautiful
and by the
location.
Miami River there. It was
Yes,
great.
yes, yes.
Yeah. And in fact, I used to stay in that little hotel, the River Park Hotel or something. It was a favorite at the time with um,
Celebrities like you, Ed?
no, Cruise.
Oh,
Cruise.
cruise. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
because it was like a 2.4 star hotel,
Right, 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 right,
but it was
right,
right on the river, so
right.
it was pretty
Nice,
good.
nice, nice.
Okay, so tell us, what are you doing for the International Coaching Federation?
So I'm thrilled actually to be back in the association business. So as you may know, I used to work for SHRM and worked with Helen. That's how we met, and we worked together. I was responsible for everything outside the U.S. And now I'm back in the association business, working for International Coaching Federation, or ICF. I work for. We have 6 new family organizations or business units within ICF. We call it our ICF ecosystem. And I work for ICF Coaching in Organization, and I'll tell you a little more about that. But part of the 6 interest areas are ICF Professional Coaches, which is all of the individual coaches that are practitioners. We also have ICF Credentials and Standards, all about credentials, getting credentialed as a coach. We also have ICF Coach Training, and that is accredits organizations to provide training to coaches. ICF Foundation, obviously, nonprofit philanthropy or philanthropic piece of our ecosystem. And then we have ICF Thought Leadership Institute. And really it's to create and influence the future of coaching. So you can see that we're very forward thinking. We're all about providing tools and resources to the coaching community. ICF is 45,000 plus members located in 140 countries and territories. We're the largest organization leading the global advancement of coaching and the profession, fostering coaching as an integral part of society.
Let me ask you, why me as an entrepreneur, why do I need a coach?
Everybody needs a coach, and I think if you want to be, if you want to focus your role, what it is that you want, the possibilities, explore possibilities, talk to someone about or help you identify what it is that you want to be when you grow up, Ed, how to become more effective, more productive, how to cope with a decision that you're making, how to change something, if you want to change careers. So there are so many possibilities. Also, there's life coaching. There are individuals that can assist you in work-life balance. So there are a variety of things. ICF Coaching and Organization really works on the business unit that I work in, works with companies, so multinational companies, Fortune 1000 companies that are creating a coaching culture internally. So it's working with individuals that are, whether it's in HR or business, business leaders, or people that are actually doing coaching on a full-time basis, and giving them what they need to really develop this coaching culture internally within organizations.
So there's different types of coaches.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah, and how much do they cost?
It really depends, but we have something called the ICF Coach Finder that provides credentialed coaches. So there are credentials, but it could be a couple of $100 US dollars per hour, typically. To the more credentialed they are, the more experienced they are. That obviously, and then there's always there are lots of individual coaches, and have fee structures. You could find that on the ICF Coach Finder.
But not everyone can be a coach.
It's hard to be a coach. There is education that is required, and as I said, there's credentials. I think if you want to hire a good coach, someone that knows what they're talking about, has expertise. We have, for instance, we have we say that we have the gold standard in credentials of coaches. So if you want a really good coach, you should get an ICF credentialed coach. It takes 60 to 200 hours of training, and then anywhere from 100 to 2,500 coaching hours to be able to apply for this credential.
So coaching has always, well, it hasn't always been virtual, but now it is.
Yeah, we used to have virtual or phone calls, and to have kind of what we call a chemistry call, see if there's chemistry between you and the coach, and then we'd meet in person. Now, of course, the pandemic comes and everything's virtual. We have chemistry calls virtually, and then coaching sessions are typically by Zoom or Skype or Teams, whatever platform you use. But I think you can be very effective
So
online.
first impressions count, right? That's what
Right.
my mother used to say.
Right. They still count.
So, yeah. So should I have worn a suit and tie to be with you today? And should I have shaved this white thing off?
You have to be what you're comfortable with. I think it's all about what you do and how you do it. Certainly, first impressions. I would say, being an HR professional, and Helen, you can certainly validate this. But if you're applying for a job, I would say maybe not a suit, but a tie, right, or a business shirt.
Yes.
But for coaching, it's actually a very comfortable and a very comfortable environment. That's why I wore the business shirt, Ed.
Yeah, I was
To
wondering.
impress you.
I was
Depends on
having
the rapport. Once you've got a coach on board, you already got the rapport building done already, and then it's just, you just have to be yourself, I think, and be comfortable in your skin to be able to kind of interact with your coachee. And I think that's what's important. But first impression, last impression is typically when you go for an interview. But I think when it comes to a coach-coachee relationship, I think it's more about being comfortable and being able to trust your coach.
Yeah. So Robert, are there more women than men coaches?
That's a great question, and that I don't necessarily know. There are thousands of coaches throughout the world, but I would say, as in HR, I think that there's probably more women coaches than men.
Yeah.
I just attended a training program actually at Coach U, and the professors, two professors, a woman and a man, were surprised that there were so many men in part of we were a small group of 20, and it was more men than women, and they actually said that it was surprising that they had so many men in the course. I think it's a natural position for women to go into because it provides flexibility. Especially if you are an independent coach, you really have lots of flexibility around your schedule.
Some women don't want to be coached or told what to do by a man.
Helen, I'll let you answer that. I don't know.
No,
I'm just playing the role of announcer here.
Right.
You know, Ed, I think that's a myth, because a person who needs help would go to a coach, and it doesn't matter who's at the other end, as long as he's helped with what he's looking for. So gender, I think, doesn't matter. And Robert rightly said that there are more women coaches because of the flexibility. And with the virtual world now, you can just do it online, from the comforts of your home. I've just, Robert, I don't know, I think I'm going to use this platform to say it. I'm going to be writing a book on relationships, and I'm training to become a coach as well. So that's something that I'm really, really looking forward to, and it's very exciting. And I think it's a great place to be, because you're changing lives every day, and being and there are tons of, you can have, it's such a vast field for you to kind of find your niche. And my niche is going to be relationships. So that's what
Oh,
I've chosen
nice,
for
nice,
myself, because I'm already
nice.
counseling women that are abused,
Uh,
that are going through difficult relationships. So it was just a natural transition for me to get myself certified. And the program is ICF certified as well.
Wonderful.
So yeah, I'm very, very excited.
Something that's really neat is that the Bridge School partners with various organizations to provide learning for their students. For example, we partner with a major ballet company, and we are able to enroll several of their students into our school. So now not only is the student able to participate in a school and have a seamless transition while they're very active in their ballet career, but now they have other dancers that are with them that are doing some of the same courses. So it's almost becoming a camaraderie where they're taking similar courses, they're working together on their ballet, and really being able to form this great partnership with these organizations to provide a needed service. A lot of times there are student athletes who will spend hours and hours at the gym or at the basketball courts, wherever it is. And if they're attending a traditional school, they're in school from 8 to 3. They get a quick snack, and then they're at the gym for 3 to 4 hours in the evening. Coming to us and having that partnership, they're able to break that up throughout the day. They can have a morning practice, get some schooling in, have an afternoon practice, finish their schooling in the evening. So there's that flexibility. And additionally, if there are tournaments or performances, it's fantastic, because if there's a week where they have shows straight through, they can take that week off of learning and then pick back up when they're done. So it offers this great flexibility. And for the program owners of these sports leagues, it is a win-win situation for them, because they see this need. They see this need that their students need to make sure that they are obtaining the grades necessary to be successful adults in our country and in other countries. But it provides them an environment where they can be successful at both.
I have to tell you, if I can just jump in for a
Yeah,
second.
go ahead.
Helen, you haven't been a hired coach for me, but you've been telling me what to do and with suggestions, and I've listened, and it's worked. So thank you. I think you'll be a fantastic coach.
Yeah, I think, Ed, just to answer your question seriously, it's about the chemistry. I don't think gender doesn't matter. If you have, it's about listening and about being approachable. I think, Helen, you alluded to that earlier, but it's really feeling comfortable with that coach and having that coach guide you. It's all about the coachee, really, in the coaching session. It's what that coachee wants to accomplish, and really the coach is a facilitator to get to where you individually want to be. I think it's exciting that we're seeing in organizations that most individuals want to have a coach. So we're talking about business coaching, executive coaching, how to improve my performance, how to succeed in this organization or in this current position, or how can I grow with this company? And that coach is going to help me get there, help me figure out what I need to do and where I need to go.
So I was on a program with somebody else on another topic, and we were talking about LeBron James, the basketball star.
Right, right.
And I mean, this guy is Superman, right? But not at everything, as it turns out.
Right, right,
So
right.
he is just a great faker, and dodging, and then shooting, and the thing goes in, right? Okay, but he had problems doing free throws,
Right.
and he's not the only one of NBA pros. And who would think that would be so hard? But he's got nervous energy, and he's much better playing the role, dodging and dribbling around and all that. But he's a lousy free throw shooter, and there's so many points can be gained by that. So the team assigned him a coach, and then they switched to somebody more compatible with LeBron for whatever the reason. All right, and
Yeah,
then
so Ed,
he
you
began
have
to
to
do it right.
you have to bring up LeBron, right? You realize I'm in Miami, and
Yes,
we're not on speaking terms with LeBron since he abandoned us.
Well, I just want to just be
He just wanted to rub it in gently.
yeah, right. But from 3,000 miles away, I'm okay.
Yeah. He's now in your neck of the woods. But yeah, so obviously LeBron is a superstar, and as in sports, I think if you look at coaching, obviously sports has always had coaches. They've always had very good coaches. I think we business coaching or coaching in general is very similar. There's a skill set that you want to work on, and the coach will assist you in that. As in sports and business, there are superstars. There are, Jeff Bezos, I think, is the LeBron James of business, I think. I don't know, but he probably has a coach to assist him because, as you said, Ed, you can't be good at everything. And many times you need a coach to help you to get better, to improve your performance, or Helen, what you're trying to do is life, right? Figuring out life.
The coach, for a coach to kind of help you get to where you want to be is by asking the right questions. They're not there to tell you what to do. That's the job of a counselor. But as a coach, you just have to trigger them by asking them the right questions so that, they get thinking outside the box and get closer to where they want to be by asking them, just how can you do it? And I think that's a sign of a great coach. Half the coaches that I know are spending more time in counseling and telling your coachee what to do when the decision is not theirs, and that's never going to stay in the long term because they didn't make that decision. Somebody else made it for them. So the sustainability of that following through to action is very seldom. It's like 1 out of 10. But if asking the right questions and making the coachee come up with their own answers and making the decision for themselves, I think is more sustainable.
So
Robert, you may correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, no, great. Exactly.
So Robert, are you looking at big picture here, and we're running out of time, but wellness seems to be the rave topic as we're getting out of COVID, hopefully soon. Wellness at workplace. Now, workplace is here in my dining room, as well as in some company somewhere. So wellness, and how do you coach on wellness or implementing wellness programs?
Yeah, I think the world of work is obviously changing, or it has changed dramatically. I think lots of us are working from home. We have home offices. Work is anywhere you have a computer and a camera now, right? So I think companies. I think a coach can definitely help you with that work-life balance because we are so accessible that we're probably working longer if you think about it, because it's easy to get online, it's easy to connect with people. The expectation is that I respond to an email or a request pretty quickly. Time zones, as you know, Ed, you're up at 3 a.m. sometimes, because you're global. You tend to work crazy or at all hours. So I think companies are looking at ways to provide wellness programs and initiatives differently, through the internet, engaging their teams through online platforms and programs that they can access to keep tabs on that.
Now, what about as we look at COVID impacting people who are not in the office anymore, and some will be asked to come back and most won't, not because they're not good, it's just because the bosses are looking at the use of space differently,
Right.
for whatever the reasons. So because of COVID, everybody's life has changed. Everybody has different needs. And how can you coach the C-suite on how to deal with people and manage performance? I mean, it's different now. I can't even get my head around what words to use.
Yeah, I think it's actually easier. I think we're going. Most companies, there's a trend. You're going through performance management, right? Results-oriented management. It's not your face time in the office. It's what are you producing? So you work with executives or C-suite on developing their teams, engagement. How do I try and get them to perform at the levels that they're necessary, establish objectives, goals, so that individuals are focused and on track. So I think it's easier actually, because individuals know what if an individual knows what they need to do, and you support them, hopefully there's also a feedback, giving individuals feedback. There's a big trend of giving feed forward, right? So feedback is I'm telling you what you did. Feed forward is here's what you did, but here's what you need to do to get to the next level.
So who is the right coach? For instance, I've got several friends who are coaching right now, at least part-time. But one in particular is a guy who retired at 55, which is way too young, but he was with a big pharma in the Midwest for 25 years. And his last position was, and this is a big pharma, a VPHR, with a lot of subsidiary responsibilities and a lot of reports.
Okay. And he probably made a lot of money. That's why he retired at 55.
Right. And now he's very active in his Catholic Church and set up a foundation. And he, of course, has joined a consulting group. And so he's doing a number of things, but none of them full time. And he doesn't want to. But he's a coach, and he knows some other guys and gals who are banding together and bringing themselves and doing, responding to RFPs about, okay, company CEO or board member, you have an issue now about how to get more tech involved in your workforce that's not in the building, but it's dispersed. Right? How do you manage all that? And so this is like something that needs a coach, right? Because what's the answer to some assignment like that, and who to give it to? And how do you measure a coach's performance?
Yeah, I think it really depends. It really depends on what you want to accomplish. Typically, a coach will establish an agreement, in the beginning. So what do we want to accomplish? What are our objectives? Here's a contract for services. Here's what I'm going to charge. Here's how often we're going to meet. So the specifics, right? And then you hold them accountable and say, you know, it's all based on this contracting, this agreement that we have initially before we start. And then we monitor our progress, and hopefully, yeah, I always think that if you get referral business, if it goes well, you know, you will recommend that coach to somebody else. And if it doesn't, I have a friend actually that's a coach, and he says, you know, there's obviously payment up front, but if it doesn't work out, there is a guarantee that you know, we'll either extend the coaching assignment or we'll talk about what happened.
Yeah. So producer Paul, do you have a slide there that you could show to help support all of this? So Robert, this is your LinkedIn page. Can you describe what people are looking at there?
Certainly. So it's a beautiful view of Miami, and my beautiful face, right?
Yeah, we're in a suit and tie.
We're in a suit and tie, yeah. And certainly my experience. If you go kind of up, you can see the companies I've worked for. I'm the strategic development director at, I worked for RiseSmart just before I had my own company. As you see there, I worked for Sherm as well. And then I've had several positions in corporate America. Also worked for a healthcare company.
Yes. So in the position with RiseSmart, that was acquisition, wasn't it? Talent acquisition.
It was actually mobility. It's talent mobility. We did outplacement. So the pandemic had a lot of outplacement. So companies let go their employees. Actually, at RiseSmart, they do a lot of career coaching. Where they help individuals find, or career transition. They help individuals go from one career to the other. So that's another type of coaching that is actually very rewarding and very valuable, because you're with people helping them transition from one position to another. And it may be difficult sometimes, especially for middle-aged men like us, Ed.
Yeah, I'm old.
And your friend, right? That we value so much of who we are and what we do on the job that we have, and when we lose that, we need some guidance. We need someone to help us figure out what we want to do.
So you're looking at a slide now that shows a diversity of coaching, right?
Correct. So as you see, it's not only women, it's men and women. We definitely have individuals, and you can see there that we have the family organizations, the different types of coaching. I work for the one here in the middle, ICF Coaching and Organizations. And again, we focus on internal coaches in organizations, so individuals that are providing coaching internally. We have a lot of the professional coaches is probably our largest family organization. There are a lot of coaches there, because there are a lot of independent coaches that are providing, and we call it external coaching in organizations, as well as personal coaching, like what Helen is doing or is going to do more.
So therefore there is revenue sharing.
How so? What do you?
Well,
what is revenue?
I mean, is coaching a one-person job, or you bring in associates, and then how do you share?
So in organizations, we have most organizations that are creating coaching cultures. We have a team of individuals that are providing coaching internally to business professionals and executives. there are independent coaches that have their independent company, but many times team coaching, for instance, you may need a number of coaches, and there may be times when you need other individuals. That's why belonging to ICF is so important, because you have a network of coaches where you can call on if the need arises. Maybe you're working with a company that you're providing external coaching and they need more coaches. It's good to go to your network and get those individuals and, I guess, revenue share the wealth of the company.
Robert Garcia, thanks for being our guest today. A very special guest. This has been really informative and insightful. And I invite you to come back in May or June to give us an update. As companies move out of the COVID lockdown situations and start to figure out how to bring some people back into meetings. Like, for instance, here in San Diego, I live right down the street from the convention center. And for more than a year, it's been a ghost town.
Right.
But now they're beginning to open up.
Ed, it's interesting that SHRM was scheduled to have their conference in San Diego, and the city of San Diego did not allow them because it's not open. So then they called their brothers and sisters in Las Vegas, and Las Vegas said, please come.
Yeah.
And so they're hosting their conference in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
At ICF, we're having a conference. Converge is our conference, but we're having it virtually this year in October.
Obviously, the future is hybrid. And
yes, I think so. Yeah.
I thank you, Helen. I know you're pressed for
welcome.
time. And
My pleasure.
Please come back. Thank you both for being
Absolutely. It's a pleasure to see you both
pleasure.
and have this great chat.
And
Thank you for the invitation.
We'll see you in Miami, if not Vegas.
Absolutely. All
right. This is Ed in San
Bye-bye.
Diego, Robert in Miami, Helen in Bahrain. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us in the meeting room at Global TV Talk Show.
Have a wonderful day, and stay safe.